We finally found some elk through the spotting scope. They're on a hill that's very far away, probably like a mile, but we've seen a cow walk out now and now a bull. And we've got a plan to go in for the backside of that hill the next morning.
Yeah, he's a nice sit.
Put in the comments who you think is going to catch the first fish out of me and Jesse. He's supposed to be the fishing guy, but he's having a late start, so I like my odds. Right up to the... Fuck. Oh, Jesse, you're not supposed to turn those back.
I had to show the camera. I already showed my camera.
My catch did one. Hey, that's a bigger one. You know, with how tough the last few days have been, I'll take it. Dude, nice. Don't lose that one. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Matt, Man vs. Deer, and today we are elk hunting in Utah. We're actually on our way up the mountain right this second, me and my buddy Jesse. And then in the truck in front of us, I'll flip you around here, that's Ashton. He's going to be showing us around up here for the next few days and trying to get us on some of these elk. We got a spiker, a cow tag, and a lot of tenacity, and we're hoping to fill both of those. And should be fun. I've never hunted in Utah before. We did get here a day early. It was about a 20-hour drive, and we did some fishing up in Fish Lake, and some yellow perch was all we could get into, and it took a day and a half to do it. So the fishing was tough, the wind was brutal, and there was this like wall of grass that went out like 70 yards into the lake from every shoreline we touched. So it made it tough, but it was still fun to get out there and add another species to the belt notch there. So we're I think we're going to be hunting tonight. Ashton was out hunting this morning, has a group of elk located, and we're going to see if we can sneak in on them. They've been in some super thick stuff, so it's made it really hard to get a clear shot at them, but it's made it easy to get kind of close to them. So we should have some action, hopefully, to show you very shortly, but I think we're going to get settled into camp, throw a few arrows into a target to make sure everything's still on, and I think we're hunting. Let's get after it. All right, guys, we're all set up. We're fixing to fling a few arrows and make sure nothing got tweaked during the traveling process. Make sure our bows are still on and everything. Base layers. It's kind of chilly up here, really windy. It's supposed to calm down a little bit, but let me give you a quick tour of camp. Do a little walk around. Nice little tent, four-wheelers. Just a pretty cool setup. And that's going to be home for the next 3 days while we're chasing elk. May go out this evening, may not sure. Our hunt technically doesn't start till tomorrow morning, but it was hinted at that we might get to go sit somewhere tonight and then really get after them in the morning. But for now, we're going to sight these bows in, and someone stopped by just a second ago to show us a monster mule deer buck, probably 190-inch mule deer buck that they had killed this morning. The thing was gigantic. I didn't get a lot of footage of it. I didn't want to be nosy and push my way in, but it was a super big buck. It was in velvet. Definitely some big animals running around here, so let's get these bows shot some. We got the bows unpacked, and it didn't take us long to realize that nothing had gotten shifted during the travel process, and the bows were still dialed in perfectly. However, that Utah wind was whipping that day, and it was really hard to hold your bow steady, especially on the longer 40 to 60 yard shots. But we had fun, the bows were dialed in, and we were ready to go. You're not going elk hunting, safe to say. We didn't end up hunting that night, but we did whip up some really nice Dutch oven camp spaghetti, and then after that, we all just hung out, put a few drinks back, swapped hunting stories, and just had a really good time. The kind of time that can only happen at a deer or an elk camp. It'll take me 10 minutes. Good morning, guys. First day of our elk hunt. Sun is just coming up. We're fixing to get started. It is beautiful. Lots of cloud cover last night, a decent rain. The wind has died down to almost nothing, and we're getting the four-wheelers packed up here. As you can see, we don't have a terribly long ways to go, but we're gonna get started soon. And our plan is Ashton was actually hunting last night, or not last night, but yesterday morning, and left some elk at the top of a canyon. So I think we're gonna pick up where he left off because we know there's elk in that area, and hopefully we get into some. I'm excited. Yesterday morning, I'm gonna flip you guys around. This is the canyon right here that I was talking about where Ashton had seen elk. We parked here and we've been glassing these little clear cuts for a minute, looking at the skyline, seeing if we can see anything or hear anything. And so far we haven't, but the wind is blowing just a little bit. It's gonna make it hard to really hear anything probably at that distance. I think what we're gonna do is get to hiking up that thing and see if we can lay eyes or ears on some, right? Get to hiking in there and see if we can lay eyes or ears on something. We should be able to Jesse should have been recording, but there was like, was that $4 or $5? 4 or 5 mule deer bucks?
Yeah, right on the side of the road.
Yeah, a couple of them were really nice looking too. It's
good genetics.
good looking deer.
Good genetics.
So we need to get frame packs on and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
It's go time, boys. We decided to start our hunt at the bottom of the same canyon that Ashton had left elk in the night before. As a rule of thumb, you never leave deer to find deer, and we thought that would apply to elk too. You don't leave elk to go find elk. So we started here, and we started creeping, proceeding with caution, because the tracks were fresh, the scat was fresh, there were trails going through there everywhere, and a couple of times we thought we could hear some cows mewing through the brush. We didn't actually end up seeing any elk in here, but it was really cool to learn a new topography type and just kind of enjoy time being right in the heart of some really nice elk country. So we've been sneaking through here for a little while, and we finally heard some elk. We've heard an elk bugle twice now. It's about one canyon over, so we're kind of sneaking our way over there. We've got a mule deer, doe, and a fawn kind of working towards us right now. But it's been mostly a quiet morning until just now. We're just now starting to get into the action. I think it's gonna heat up soon. So we've jumped like 2 or 3 ridges over. We're sitting here eating a snack, getting some water, taking a break, and just listening. And we heard there's another 2
Your bull is bugling over here, and we've heard some cows with him now. So we're going to try to gain a little bit of elevation, see if we can get some eyes on him. We're going to go up to the top of this, and then we should be able to see everything for a really, really good ways. But we're in the game right now. We're close to elk, so.
Well guys, we're headed back down the mountain. Didn't actually get to lay eyes on any elk this morning, although we did get to hear a few bugling. And we got pretty close to one group, but they shut up about the time we got on the same ridge with them. Bedded down for the morning, I'm guessing. So we're making our way down the mountain. We're still hunting, but we're making our way down the mountain. And we're gonna regroup and maybe do something different for the evening. I'm not sure yet. Beautiful country out here. Did see a mule deer doe and a mule deer fawn. That was pretty cool. Seen a big old group of muley bucks driving in on the trail this morning. So no shortage of wildlife out here. Not a fan of my parking? Hold on, hold on.
I didn't think you needed that.
Not today.
Probably not wearing these boots again.
You gonna wear your shoes?
I mean, they're hiking shoes. So.
That's what you get for not breaking them in.
Have time.
I'd be broken now.
I know. About time now.
Don't stop using them now, they're just right.
Fair point. Got some moleskin in my birthday kit.
Wind's been blowing so hard it blew the awning off the camper. Probably searching in the trucks for screws to try and fix that stuff.
Seems like it's gonna be solid where we can roll. I think so. Well, I mean, it's quite good.
I know you already did a review on those sticks, but this is definitely something you could add to that.
Tree sticks.
Not just for hunting.
Got a good break in, had some lunch. It's getting towards evening time and it is windy, like super windy. So we've changed up our strategy a little bit. We are going to drive around and glass from the road. See if we can actually put eyes on something and then go in after it if we can put eyes on something. It was windy like this yesterday evening when we got here too, and nobody seen nothing. Everything was hunkered down. So I think that's our best play, is to just kind of drive around and see if we can put eyes on something, and then we've got all the stuff we need to go in after it, should that happen. Right?
Right.
Right. Right. Second mule deer doe could have killed. Look at this.
Everybody on YouTube is going to be judging.
Dutch oven potatoes, carrots, bacon, fresh elk steaks. That's good. That's really good. Good morning from elk camp, day number 2, guys. It's pretty excited about this morning. There is almost no wind. There's a cold front that's moved in. It's probably about 35 degrees. And I think we're headed to a spot that we drove past last night that didn't seem like it was getting any pressure. Ashton's had people in there earlier in the week, and they had a couple missed shots at some elk, so there's a decent amount of elk in there. And it's not as steep as the terrain we were in yesterday, which I don't care about, but it is like a little bit more what I would consider your typical elk country, like with some darker timber and some rolling bottoms and stuff like that. So it should be really pretty today. They should definitely be moving around and hopefully a little bit more vocal, but we're packing up our gear now. We're gonna start heading that way. It's a little bit of a longer ride than we had yesterday, and hopefully we get into some elk. We'll see. So we headed back into a spot real deep on this mountain, and it's, when I say real deep, I mean we're probably 10 miles in or so, wouldn't you say, Jesse? Yeah. And there's 4-wheelers parked at every turnoff, like every turnoff. And so I guess, and they were all at the spots that, you know, Ashton had been seeing elk before. And so now I guess we're gonna just keep driving and glassing and see if we can find a group to sneak in on, because all the spots we had planned on hunting this morning are kind of taken. So public land, public hunting, that's what you get. We're gonna get out here and do our best anyways.
Whenever you're doing the video, the long screwdriver, you have that hook up to the back. Yeah.
Tons of type 2 fun this morning, eh boys? Shifter got stuck on this thing. You turn it off, it goes into neutral. You turn it on, it's in reverse. Watch the YouTube video, we're trying to get it unstuck right now.
Oh yeah, that's light.
No, it's heavy.
No, it's definitely light. If you can't get it up on a shoulder, then you don't even deserve to be out here.
There's only about 800 fire ants up here.
Is there a lot?
Yeah, maybe abort.
That counts. Guys, update. I thought we were going to be stuck here for a few hours, so I went way to the top of this hill and started glassing. Jesse and Ashton kept after it, and they got this thing back in gear with no tools, basically rocks and sticks, caveman style. But it's running. We're back in business, so.
Just our hands in anger.
Yeah.
A little bit of persuasion.
Yep, it's about 8 o'clock now. We are gonna hunt our way out of here. We're about halfway through this big trail. We got a few points we're gonna stop and glass at. Obviously, we'll keep our eyes peeled while we're driving, but best part of the morning is gone. We're gonna see if we can salvage the rest of it and then maybe fish later. Good job, guys. High fives.
Go team! Go team! After getting our tails kicked all morning, we decided that we were going to do something a little different and take the scenic route and check out some of the lakes and reservoirs that were around the area that we were camping, with the idea that we may fish later. We did have a few more obstacles as we were getting back to camp, as you've seen the lug across the road, but all in all, we've seen some really pretty sights, got to check out some of the lakes, and we picked out a lake that we wanted to go try our hand at fishing, with hopes of catching some rainbows and maybe a new species like cutthroat.
All right, guys, we are officially done with the morning hunt, and not a lot we can do until a little bit later this evening. We didn't find any elk to set up on or really chase, and there was so much traffic this morning. Hate to repeat myself, but I can't over explain how many people there were out here in the area that we were in. So right now, I'll flip you around. We have got a big old hidden mountain lake. Jesse's gonna go over there on that point and fish. I'm on this point, and there's rainbows in here, there's cutthroat, there's supposed to be some splake and bigger lake trout fish too, so we're gonna see if we can at least get some trout for a camp dinner tonight. So we're gonna fish, stick with me.
Well, guys, I think I figured out the power bait bite. It was going really slow and nothing was happening. I'd thrown a few different baits around and threw on some power bait, and lo and behold, nice little rainbow on the stringer. So hopefully we can catch some more. I'm trying to get a hold of Matt, but he won't answer his phone.
I just met up with Jesse. He did the same thing I did. He tied on some power bait and started catching. We both got a decent trout on the stringer, so that's dinner tonight, and we're fishing in the same spot now, and we're hoping to catch 4 or 5 more of these things. Pretty good sized trout. Put up a nice little fight. I was expecting, you know, with it being a mountain pond, to catch little cutthroats and smaller fish, but these are decent sized fish, so heck yeah. Using these little salmon eggs, tying on with a sinker about a foot away so they float off the bottom. It's working pretty good. I was using, whoops, spilled them all over. Was using these little trout minnows, but they kept flying off the hook, coming off the hook every time I reeled in. Jesse's salmon eggs are doing a lot better.
He just spit something up.
Oh, a little bait fish. Where's the little pliers at? Right here.
This one feels a little better.
Nice. That didn't take long.
Not at all. A rainbow. A little bit bigger than what I got.
We'll take them. That algae makes them slimy. This water's got some kind of green algae all over it. It's very slimy.
Hold still.
Nice fish, Jesse.
Thanks. It's a little bit bigger than the last one.
I just hooked up with one while I was reeling in to recast. What is it? Another little rainbow. Well, that ain't that neat. Man, these things got a lot of life in them. You hold the fish, I'll get your hook. He didn't absolutely get that one.
I don't think this is really necessary. Like, just because I've caught more fish than you, is this really? Is this how we're? Okay, I mean, this is what you need, and I'm here for you.
I was here first.
Okay.
Well, guys, the day kind of turned around for us. Jesse and I had a really awesome day fishing. I'll flip you around here. Jesse waxed me. He caught 6 and he actually stopped fishing way before I did. But he had a pretty good day. Some of them are decent sized rainbows here. Really good like eaters for sure, which is what we plan on doing with them tonight. And as for me, I did okay. I got 4 fish, a couple of them are pretty nice. But we're gonna run some stuff back up to the truck and get these things cleaned out and head back to camp and recuperate for what's hopefully a successful evening of elk hunting. These guys take pretty good care of me. They send me product and stuff like that, just so you know. But I really do like them, and especially for an occasion just like this, where we've got a lot of fish slime and grime on our hands. These buck wipes work really, really good for cleaning your hands off, or cleaning a knife that you just field dressed a deer with, or cleaning your hands after you field dress something. They're big and burly. They got a lot of texture to them, so they do a good job taking things off, and they'll actually get the smell of fish off of your hands, which is kind of nice. So, little pro tip from me. Jesse, would you like one?
Yes, please.
I know. Mine had the bigger fish on it. I'm aware. That's a pretty good rainbow right there.
It is.
That's a darn good rainbow, boys. We're gonna put some oil and some foil later, and you're gonna season that bad dude right up.
Let's start over on that.
We normally would have cleaned these at the lake, but there's an algae bloom there, and there were signs all over saying, hey, don't ingest this water, this algae's dangerous. They said you could eat the fish, but we didn't want to clean fish in water that had algae we weren't supposed to ingest, so we're cleaning them back at camp.
Clean it off.
I'm going to take my knife, I'm going to put it right under here. Make sure you guys can see that little slit right there. Going to go just out, going to go right up the pooper, and all the way up, to that right there. And then I'm going to take my thumb, put it in the little hole I made, grab the lower jaw, and it's supposed to work a lot smoother than that. There we go. Everything comes out. Then on my fish, I don't like the skin on them. Some people do, some people don't. I don't. I'm going to take and pop the head backwards. I'm going to work my thumb in between the meat and the skin on both sides, just like so, until I get enough of that fillet forward I can grab. And then I'm just going to peel that skin off, just like so. Later, this will be advantageous because elk won't smell people, they'll smell trout. And they'll be like, hey, that's safe.
It's like perfect scent cover.
Yeah. These are going to be good tonight after a hopefully successful elk hunt. Or as a good consolation meal for an unsuccessful elk hunt.
Either way, you're a winner.
Either way, you're winning. You're getting fresh. This was out of a mountain lake, probably at about 9,000 feet. The only trout we have back home is stock trout that are fed every day, so curious to see how much better these are going to taste. They gotta taste better. Not that the other ones taste terrible, but okay, grab us a bottle of water, Jesse. Last thing I'll show you guys is when I clean these here in the middle, there's that big black line. So I'll just take my thumb and I'm going to push all of that out, just like so. And then we can rinse that fish off. Boy, that's cold. Give me another little hit there. We'll rinse this whole body off, make sure there's none of that nasty algae there. And that is a clean piece of fish, ready for some oil and some foil. I'm gonna keep saying that.
I would rather you didn't. But.
Start of our evening hunt here. We've got a pretty cool point that we're gonna glass. We're gonna try to put eyes on something and then hopefully hike in there and kill it. But we've got a really good glassing point here. I'm gonna dip off just over the edge and try to glass this like burn thing while these guys are glassing these bald face ridges and stuff, and we're hoping that we see some elk work out onto something over here and then we'll go in after it. But that's the plan. We watched that other spot for a super long time and nothing but mule deer ended up coming out, so we moved pockets. We're gonna glass down into some of these here and see what we can see. Pretty cool country. I'm gonna flip you around real quick. Really awesome the way this place is laid out. Beautiful country. It's mountainous, but it's not mountainous at the same time. It's weird. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna stay back over this side until I get to where I can glass. That way I don't spook anything on the other side. They just spooked. They just scared away.
Yeah. I've got one on video. He's a monster. He's still in there. Fuck. There's still one right there. So they went about 50 yards to the right. You got him.
We finally found some elk through the spotting scope. They're on a hill that's very far away, probably like a mile, but we've seen a cow walk out now and now a bull, and we've got a plan to go in for the backside of that hill the next morning.
Yeah, he's a nice 6.
Ashton, you got good eyes, man. I would have never seen those.
Thanks, buddy.
When we got back to camp, I was pretty excited to get these trout seasoned up and on the fire. And a lot of what we have back home is stock trout, like I mentioned earlier, and I wanted to see how these things tasted. So what I did was kind of coat them with a little bit of vegetable oil. I put some garlic butter seasoning on there and some lemon pepper. That is my go-to fish seasoning. Wrapped them in a foil packet, and these guys went straight on the coals. I was still riding the high from our first elk sighting, and I was really excited to get to try some wild-caught mountain rainbow trout. And I gotta say, these things did not disappoint. There wasn't much talking at dinner because everyone was stuffing their face.
Side of that canyon that we seen all those elk in. It's right over here. They were just on the back side of these, and they came over the top when we seen them. So we're gonna start our morning here. Listen, glass, see if we can put eyes or ears on anything to go after, and then get after them. Let's go glass some elk. We've got some elk found. They're way, way far away though. Maybe like, I don't know, it'd take a long time to get to them. They're down here, way, way down on the other side of this valley. But there's probably, I don't know, around 10 or so that we can see. Some cows for sure. The elk, the elk we were hoping to run back into this morning, we haven't heard or seen from, and then
There's a couple other guys on the mountain too, so who knows where they're pushed or where they went. But we got eyes on some. I think we might go make a play. Pretty long ride over here, but we finally made it. Flip you guys around. The pond that we were glassing is right here, and we see elk up on this hillside and on this hillside. We've been sitting here for a minute listening, seeing if we could hear any bugles or cows, or just see anything, you know, because we got a pretty good vantage point. But I think we're gonna make a little loop, get some high ground, see if we can get some eyes on these guys or relocate them, and if not, pretty good water source here, nice wallow in front of us. I think we're just going to come back and wait it out. So let's go see if we can find them. Yeah, that might have been. I might have seen them right there this morning. Oh, they're right there. Oh, they're right there. That's what's going on. Well, guys, I don't think that was a very good idea. That's pretty soft right there, huh? If you want to kill the elk, you gotta be where the elk are. That's right. Now my feet will smell like elk feet. I don't know what that sounds like. Oh yeah. The thing is, we want to make sure that we don't push them. They're definitely coming in here. All you can smell is the elk. Oh no. Type 2 fun. So shitty.
That's rude. I'll pick on the old man.
You don't look happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here. I just don't feel good.
Well, you look great.
Thanks.
Your head has this nice, like, red color all over it. Well, guys, we made a big old loop. Did not relocate those elk. So we're just kind of hanging in here glassing. We're going to kind of sit over this water hole till this evening. We figure they're going to come back for it. Found a big old wallow. Jesse lost a shoe in it. That was funny. That's going to be pretty slow until we see something, or this evening when they start coming back out again. That's where we're at, though. Last night of day 3. So hopefully we get some action here. Good luck, guys. Okay, so it's about an hour before things should be getting up and moving around. We decided to split up. It's the last evening of the last day, and they're gonna go up to a really high rocky point in Glass, and I've just got a gut feeling that this stream and this big wallow over here is where it's at. It just looked elky, smelled elky. There was tracks and scat everywhere, and you could tell they've been using it a lot in the past couple of days, and my gut is just telling me don't move from that spot. And that's where they were this morning. I think they'll come back and hit it on their way back through for water, and I just think it's the highest odds shot for success that I've got. So that's what I'm gonna do. And those guys, if they spot a herd of elk, they're gonna come back and get me. But that's what's going on. I'm going right where this little cluster of trees is over here, and hopefully one of the next times I turn this camera on, we'll have some action. Alright guys, I'm set up in my little hidey hole. Give you a little panoramic view. You can't see much behind me. There's a little wall brush in front of me, and there's a wallow right here. It's only about 10 yards away, and there's a wallow just out in front of it that isn't very far away either. If they come out in front of me, easy shot. If they try to come to the side of me, I've got a lane too. And then of course, I got all the stuff to this side and behind me as well. So, that's the setup. Hopefully it works. I just heard an elk bugle not very far away. Not very far at all. This could get interesting.
Dude, that's... For sure? Yeah. Fuck. It would be beast. How far? 40. You sure?
Yep.
I hit him in the ass. I know I missed him completely.
Well, guys, that's all the footage I had from the Utah trip. After that, I was tired. Everyone was tired. The four-wheeler ride home was like 2 hours long and through some nasty, rugged terrain. And between that and being beat up, I just didn't have it in me to film anymore. I was mentally and physically depleted. and I got to get better at that. But it is what it is. We were tired and kind of beat up from the trip. With that being said, it was a pretty awesome trip. For our first ever elk experience, we did see elk. We did get a stalk and a shot on elk. We seen some big mule deer bucks. We got to catch and eat some wild rainbows. So overall, it was a pretty stinking cool trip, and one that I think we'll repeat. Some stuff that kind of caught me off guard. The hiking was the least of my worries. I've climbed mountains. I'm used to hiking in some pretty rugged terrain, but those four-wheeler rides were brutal. They were nasty. They would throw you around. They would jar you into your bones. And after 3 days and some of the distances we had to cover to get in between glassing points, those four-wheeler rides were brutal. And the other thing that was kind of shocked to me was how hard everything was on the equipment. The bows riding on the four-wheelers, all the brush that grabs at you as you're walking by. Western hunting definitely would take its toll on any of your gear, and I think you need to invest in pretty high quality gear if you're going to go that route and you're going to chase that kind of game, because that's something that threw me for a loop too. And the weather wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be. We did most of our hiking in t-shirts, and early in the morning, you know, we were in hoodies and stuff like that, but because of all the hiking and moving around we did, it didn't get anywhere near as cold, and I didn't have to wear half the clothes I thought I was going to wear. But that's some of the stuff that kind of threw me for a loop. If you guys have questions about elk hunting, maybe you're thinking about taking your first trip, I'm not an expert, but I have been out there, and I can tell you, you know, I can give you my opinion on stuff and maybe what I did different. But any questions you have, drop that stuff in the comments. Love to hear from you guys. But that's it. That's the end of this video. I want to thank you for watching. There's going to be more trips like this, and there's a ton of other successful hunting videos on the channel. Please consider subscribing if you like those kind of videos. I want to wish you good luck next time you're in the woods. And as always, guys, God bless.
We wrote that.